Welcome to my channel. Today we will take a look at how to create a master plan and additional infographics in Adobe Illustrator. Make sure you've watched my video about the basics of Illustrator. That will make this tutorial easier to follow. Here's an example of my work, one of my latest projects, reuse of a church in Hamburg. This master plan is quite simple, but it has its own style and aesthetics that match my overall graphic approach. Here are also some site analysis diagrams that I used for the project introduction. In this video, I'll show you how to create these and which tools I use. If you already have a site plan as a DVG, PDF or SVG file, just import it into Illustrator. For those who don't, let's go to the browser and create one. For this tutorial, I'll use a website called aino, since it has very helpful tools for creating infographics. We can use the AI chart to generate the information we want to show on the map and then download everything together as PDF, DXF or SVG, all of which work perfectly in Illustrator. Let's take a look at how it works. Here's my building, and for the beginning I will set a pin on it. Like this. For my plan I will need everything like buildings, streets, green spaces and so on, and I will begin by creating 150 meters buffer. So I type in the chat buffer 150 meters around my pin. And here it is. As next, let's ask for streets and some paths around my building, or maybe even more, like 500 meters. And here are the streets. We can even see the categories of them, like main streets, pedestrian streets, and technical, and we can edit it in the menu on the right side. As next, I need buildings, and I'm just going to ask for it in the chat. All the inner prompts are available on their website. You can use them to add things like points of interest, arcs, and other layers for your site analysis. We've got buildings, and we can see all the category labels. I don't need them, so I'm going to the design and switch these labels off. I also added some green spaces and playgrounds. Here are the buildings and streets. You can turn on or off the buffer. I think I will just leave 150 meters buffer and export it as it is right now. For Illustrator, I will need SVG or PDF and a scale. I think 10,000 is a bit too much, and I'm going to zoom in and export something around 5,000. Again, and you can type your scale in, like this. Click on Preview. And this is what you will get after the export. I will download PDF for my plan. If you need styled site analysis diagrams really fast, you can edit the colors and strokes directly in Aino, use their styles and export your map as JPEG or PNG. But in this tutorial, we will move on and continue in Illustrator. Now I open my downloaded file. You can open any vector file you have in any other vector format, maybe something exported from QGIS or another local map provider. A quick note, my example is based on an adaptive reuse project, so there are no changes to the building in this master plan. And if your project includes new buildings, once you've modeled or drawn that form, export it as a PDF or DVG in the same scale as your master plan. In my case it was 1:5,000, then place it on a new layer in Illustrator. I recommend keeping your buildings on a separate layer, so if you make any changes later, you can easily delete the old version and add a new one. Now everything is in one layer. To make the file easier to edit and manage later, I'll start by creating new layers and separating the information. I'll need layers for roads, buildings, text, info, trees, and so on. I just click on plus on the bottom right corner and add layers and rename it. I'll start by moving buildings to the layer of buildings, and to do so I choose any kind of building now, go to same, select same, and I see the selection on my layer, I'm going to drag and drop it into buildings layer. And I'll do the same with all buildings. Turn the layer on and off to check if everything worked correctly. And now let's repeat the same with streets, but move to the street layer. Again, just select any line of the road, go to select, same appearance, and if you see the selection in the layer, drag and drop it into your layer and repeat the same with all line categories. Don't forget to lock the layer if you don't work on it. Now let's edit colors. I will add one more layer called help to edit my reference here. And I'm going to Pinterest. I found this beautiful image and I'm going to use colors from this reference. I'm just copy paste it on my help layer, move it somewhere around here, and maybe go for another one with similar colors. Alright, let's lock our help layer and unlock buildings. Select the first color, go to select, same appearance, and use airdropper to select the color from your reference. Yes. Now select another building color, also select all same, and choose another color. And the same with the last. It doesn't have any meaning related to building height or anything else, it's just to make the plan look more interesting. I think I need to make these buildings a bit more lighter, and I double click on the fill and make it a bit lighter. Also reselect the first group and also make it a bit lighter. And of course for the last one. Very important detail for the plan are shadows, and to make them, select all buildings by clicking on circle on your layer, go to effect, I think it was in the stylize, and drop the shadow. Here select multiply, I will also reduce the opacity, change the offset, and also reduce the blur. Okay, now they can see shadows, but I think I need to edit them again, and I select them and go to appearance settings. If you can't see appearance settings, go to window and turn it on. Now let's double click on it, and here is a menu to edit our shadows again. I'll repeat the same process for the road, but using different colors. I select the same lines and adjust the color, and of course the stroke, because all roads and streets are different. I also make the main roads a bit brighter than the pedestrian ones. You can use any colors you like here based on your reference. Something like this. Now let's adjust color for green spaces. I'm going to select it and change the color using our reference image. My favorite part, trees and textures. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably know the brush hack already, but I'll show it again here just in case. Here are my vector trees. I copy one into my master plan and scale it a bit. Like this. I'm also going to adjust the stroke. Then I open the brushes panel and drag and drop it there. In the menu, I select scatter brush, and in the settings, I set everything to random, then play around with the rotation and spacing until it looks good. Now use either the brush tool or pen tool, it doesn't really matter, to draw the trees. Personally, I find it more comfortable with the brush tool. To adjust settings again, you can double click on the brush and change the settings in the menu again. You can move or edit the trees anytime, use the curvature tool to adjust their position. I want to add another tree with a bit different settings, like stroke and a little bit dark color, and I'll repeat the same as with the first tree. I copy paste it in my artboard, created the scatter brush, changed every setting to random, change the settings like this. And now I use my brush tool and draw additional trees in my plan. Another important thing here is to edit our artboard borders. I pressed Shift O to edit the workspace, and I'm going to make it a bit smaller. Now, to hide everything we don't need, the parts outside the artboard, go to View and select Trim View. If you want to make it bigger, press Shift O again and resize your artboard. Then go back to View and Trim View. To make our plan even more interesting, we could add shadows to our trees. By selecting them all, go to Filter and Stylize, then drop a shadow, or we could use another brushes and add more textures to our plan. I already have some brushes, so I'm going to take them and do exactly the same as I did with trees, but reduce the opacity a bit more. I'll just use it everywhere I want. Under trees, under the buildings. It's very important to move this layer behind buildings. Just drag and drop it. Now I want to add background. I'm going to create one more layer called background, make it into the actual background, then copy paste any texture I have on my computer, resize it a bit, and now I will switch the blending option to multiply and also reduce the opacity. I don't really think it's what I need, so I'm going to try another one. It's watercolor paper texture, and I'll do the same, also reduce the opacity like this, and I think it looks better now. Next, I'm going to refine my plan. I will go to Info layer, take my pen tool, deselect the fill, and select the stroke color, and first draw my side borders. I don't exactly remember what it was, but I'm showing you an example. Something like this. And I'm going to stroke settings, make a dashed line, and I'll also make it a bit thinner. Now let's also switch the color of my buildings. I will select them both, and I want to make them white with colored outline. I also think other buildings also need some improvement, so I'm going to select each color and make it a bit lighter. Of course, we will not forget adding north arrow. And that's pretty much all. It's a good basic master plan that you can create and use for presentations very quickly. Of course, if you're working with different scale like 1 to 1000 or even 1 to 500, you need to add more details, such as cars, property boundaries, and the exact position of trees on your site. Thanks for watching. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. Don't forget to follow me here and on my Instagram. There I share a lot of short tutorials.